I also had Rapunzel. I started out with making the sorcerer. My four colors are blue, white, gold, and black. And so I wanted to make the sorcerer like super sharp. On my screen, this is black though, like this little, that one, that's black. Okay. So I started out with making the sorcerer super like sharp and blue, because like blue's kind of like a main color. And then I moved on to making the hat, and I knew I wanted to use triangles again, so I tried to like group them together in different ways, but I like this way the best. And I put it on the sorcerer's head, and I decided that I didn't really like it like without an outline, because it was just like a little too like chunky. So then I tried it in different colors, and got gold and blue, and I like the blue one better. I then did Rapunzel, so I started with a circular head, and I tried the straight line thing. I didn't really like that, and so I took like these like moons, and I just like stacked them, and I turned them the gold color, and just like started making like a beach wave curl, I guess. And so I decided on two for Rapunzel. So she has this one down here for when she's in the tower and her hair's just out, and then this one for when she's in the woods. It'll come up soon. But I chose like just a triangular dress because it was just kind of like just like simple, but like still innocent and still kind of like shows Rapunzel. Next I did the prince, which I put a lot of thought into him. So I started with a square body, and I didn't really like that. So then I just changed that to like more of a round circular object person. Like he just reminded me of a VeggieTale, so I felt like this is like what I needed him to be. And so then I liked the hexagon on it, so it kind of like made him look like he was wearing like a polo shirt. So then I just added like those little diamond things that like some polo shirts have. And I just wanted him to look like ritzy, I guess. And I gave him like a little like blue thing on his crown just to show like it's royalty. And then I had the worst trouble like with the father. So I decided to make him, this one's my final one down here. I decided to make him blue because I feel like he was just as bad as like the sorcerer, because like he agreed to other terms. Instead of like facing his punishment of like stealing from her yard, he decided to like sell out his kid. So I'm like, oh, you're just as bad. Okay, so then I made him a square, but I like rounded the corners because I knew he was like sorry about what he did. So like he didn't need to be that sharp of a shape, but still like he gets that color. And he kind of looks like he's struggling, but like he's actually kind of like sad. And so my first scene, I was working on the sorcerer's wall and like them coming down to like steal more Rapunzel. So I didn't really like the wall in this scene, so I decided to change it. And I didn't like this one either because I felt like the wall wasn't as like big as I feel like it needed to be. Also, like after I did this, I realized that I needed to like give them facial expressions. Like the father has some, but like the sorcerer does not, so she doesn't have facial expressions. And so then my final scene is I made them smaller than the wall, with the sorcerer still being like a tad bigger, but the wall is a little bit more simplified, and it's mostly just like she's ready to like turn him into an animal. And then for my next scene, I depicted Rapunzel in the woods with the prince climbing up, but somehow like all of them turned white, and I was like, oh, I kind of like this, but I didn't actually. Like after I looked at it, I was like, this is ugly. So then I definitely wanted to make the tree like the tree super ominous because she is in the dark forest, and so I liked the way the trees were, but then I changed it so the trees are like gave a little bit more depth with like the black and the blue and just like kind of like the evil creepiness. I turned her hair back to yellow and I gave her a blue window, and I just moved the prints down a little bit, so like he was just starting his journey of climbing up there. And then I tried it yellow, like tried to turn the background yellow to see how I felt with that, but I just felt like that was just too like bright, so I went back to white, and that was my final scene. And then the last scene that I did was Rapunzel and the prince in the woods. So I cut Rapunzel's hair, like it's still like long, but like not as long as it was, and the two like ovals are like the baby is, they're like swaddled or something. And I kept them in like the deep woods, cause like that's like where they were when he first found her again. They're like deep in the woods. And once again, I should have put in facial expressions because he had his eyes clouded out and she like wept into them and they had cleared up or something. But I didn't like that yellow, so I turned it back to white, just like in the last scene, because I just felt like that just did more for the scene. And so that's my final. So, 14, 15, wait.
15, 16.
Oh, thank you. 15, 16, 17 are that ones.
Why did you choose to have the sorcerer and Rapunzel the same shape and color since it's bad?
Well, I felt like you can't really see her like blue dress, sort of, because it's like covered by her hair. So you don't know if like the sides are rounded. They aren't, but you don't know that. And then I just kind of feel like that whole family got something going on, so I was like, I'm making all blue. Rachel.
Why did you highlight all the tree branches in blue?
Cause I just want to like show depth with them, like I was just kind of playing around, and I kind of liked the way the blue looked with the black and how it looked with the white, so I just kind of together.
Some of your blues, like when the blue overlaps the other blue, it's outlined in a darker blue instead of in black. Like on the dad, and then on some of the trees.
Sam, no.
Haley.
Oh, yeah, you do. Okay, Haley.
I just really like your trees, like in general, because I thought they're like super creepy, but they don't look like everyone else's, like just normal sticks. They had like creepy branches and stuff.
Haley.
I think with the prince, you could have just like brought his shirt down a little bit more, because it kind of doesn't look like he has a face. Just like, or even a neck. He's just kind of like.
Yeah, the way he is like, I just feel like what I was trying to go for is just like the crown, like he's a prince, so like the crown is him and he is the crown. So like it all is just one shape, if that makes sense.
It does.
Okay. Right.
You have a really good voice whenever you present, except whenever you get to the end of something, still be confident enough to completely say it out loud. Don't mumble it down. There's going to be many situations later on in life whenever just presenting is going to have to be something and you can't mumble it out. But overall, I feel you did a really good job explaining everything as to why you did it, how you did it, and your reasons behind it.
I think.
For your final, like the final third one, you said that you had it so that Rapunzel's hair is cut.
Yeah.
I think you should have brought it up from the bottom of the scene though, because we don't know that because it goes to the bottom of the slide. So if you brought it up to maybe like where the babies are or to like her shoulders, that would have been a little better way of showing that her hair's cut instead of just having it go to the very bottom and just saying it was cut.
Which is the strongest of the scenes?
Two.
Why is it the strongest?
Here's the most going on.
Shows the most action.
Okay, most action. Which is the weakest of the three scenes?
One blur.
pretty much we think it's 1. So let's see what we could do, maybe to bump that up a little bit, and some suggestions out here, I think.
I think you could add some plants to it because he is stealing the Rapunzel for the second time, or, it's fun.
Like after I thought about it, I was like after like we learned like perspective and stuff, I was thinking like I should have like pushed the wall back and like made more of like, so I could have added the plant, because like I felt like that was super
If the figures were more foregrounded, they could be larger, and then relatively you could have the plants in there. With the figures as small as you ultimately made them there, to put the plants in, they'd probably be relatively too small to understand. So I think your impulse is right, and that's the scene I would like to see you rework for your e-portfolio. Other suggestions about it?
Well, I just want to say, like, we already kind of said the second scene was like probably the best one. I just like really like that you took kind of a good dramatic angle of it, because you could have just had like a very bland, like, 'cause like, so I'm gonna say this, but it's gonna be offensive. No offense, but like 15 and 17, I feel like you're looking at it from the same distance. But I like how in like 16, it's like it's kind of out there and you get like the whole picture of it. And it's just kind of a nice, more dramatic like angle of the scene.
My only, and it's a slight problem, is I really do have trouble seeing the prints when I first look at it. And I guess I don't know, there's really much you could do except maybe move the castle a little bit more toward us, but I get it as soon as I kind of adjust to it after a couple of seconds. But at first, I don't notice the prints, and I'm kind of bothered by that. I wish I could notice him more, because he is creating the action and that. But I think it's a good job overall. I think Bryce's comment was very important. You've got a great voice, but when you trail off at the end, maybe because you're not as certain yourself, you gotta go with what you got. Stay with it, keep that big, strong voice, and talk it out. It's okay, use that strong voice and say, okay, I kind of see what you're saying, I may reconsider that, or something like that. But don't just kind of shrivel back there, because you can be a really good presenter, and you need to take advantage of what you've got. Everybody has to take advantage of the things they do well. Good job.
One more thing to say.
Okay, if anybody